Good day, everybody. It's May 23rd. I'm in Toronto, in front of Queen's Park. There seem to be quite a few people here today. The weather's pretty good. These people are out here protesting the lockdown and some of the sanctions that have come down from the government recently, including the gun ban. Nobody wants vaccines that are here, more than likely. I don't think they want to be tested, and I don't think they want to be traced. There's Queen's Park.
Playing with those cars.
Hi, sir. How are you? Do you want to put your sign on YouTube?
Sure.
There we go. Do you have anything to say to the public?
Just really wake up and, every day is a different message. It could be one day wear a mask, the next day not, the next day, well, it's detrimental to your health. The next day it's helping you, the next day it's helping somebody else. They can't make up their minds. So just, be well. It's a flu, it's a cold. Yes, it is a virus, it's out there. But, we need to just stop the insanity and get back to living. They want to keep us all inside so there's no herd immunity. And we need herd immunity to make sure we don't have a second wave. So the more you stay inside, the more we're going to have a second wave when we come out. So get outside. Yeah, watch the tests too. The tests are contaminated. We know they're giving it to people. They're double counting tests. They're killing people in the old folks' homes. It's murder, man. It's not even just, letting them die peacefully. They're killing them. They're just letting them go. It's wake up and, just be well, everyone, and, peace, everybody.
That's a good sentiment. Thank you very much. I think I agree with everything you said there.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're here today.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you, sir.
Just in case of an atomic war or something.
Yes, that's the right house to go. Something happened.
Good. Would you like to say something on YouTube at all?
Do I want to say something on YouTube?
Yeah, I got
I'm
a
okay.
check.
I'm
Oh,
okay.
sorry.
You want to? No, you're fine. You're fine.
I've got a
I was just explaining to him about the birth certificate in an all caps name.
What was that again?
I was just explaining to this
Oh, all
gentleman.
capitals.
Yeah, the all caps name. What
Yeah,
it
your
is.
corporate name, you mean? Like your entity?
Yeah.
Something
That
to
was
effect?
created when your mother had you and she registered you at birth.
That's an interesting point you're making here. Would you like to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. I was just basically telling my experience that I had in court and how I proceeded with it, even though the outcome was, as you know, when you go into the courts, they're all based on Admiralty Maritime Law, right?
Yes, sir.
Law of the water, law of the high seas.
That's what I understand, yes.
So where the people sit, that's land. And then when it's your turn to go up, they say, please, sir, please, ma'am, come up to the microphone and state your name.
Right.
Which is your all caps name, of course. People don't understand that for the most part. But it's on the other side of the railing, and that's water. I know it's not physical water, but I mean...
It's the ship, right?
Well, you're going into their jurisdiction.
Okay.
You're going out to sea.
Okay.
That's where they hold their jurisdiction.
All right.
And they want you to basically consent to being that all caps name so they can move forward with the case. So in my situation, because when I did it in 2011, I was just learning about it. I knew I was safe by staying and trying to deal with it on land. So I didn't cross that barrier and go into the water and state my name. So the judge at that time was female, And she said, "Please, sir, come up to the microphone and state your name." And I held up the contract, because that's what it is a contract. It's not a ticket. And I said, "I'm here to see about this matter." And she said, "Please, sir, come up to the microphone and state your name." I said, "Yes, I'm here to see about this matter." 3 times she'll go through this, and that's it. And then she calls a recess, and she abandons ship and goes to her quarters. Crown attorney's looking at the clerk's looking at the Crown attorney, and before she abandons ship, she says, "Bailiff, please explain the courtroom rules to this gentleman." And I just stayed on land. Of course, they can't touch me because I didn't consent to being the name.
Okay.
So I stayed on that side the whole time. The bailiff was on that side, and the courtroom clerk came up to me and says, "Is there any reason why you're not following courtroom rules?" And I said, "Yeah, I don't have to give you a reason." I says, "All I need to know is that I was here today."
That's right.
And of course, I wasn't. I could have poured gasoline over my body, lit myself on fire, and they still wouldn't have noticed me, because I needed to consent to being that all caps name so they could move forward with that contract. And so it was over then, and I walked out. That's what I was trying to explain to the gentleman about the all caps, because he wasn't familiar with the all caps name.
I've heard of this before too.
Yeah. So you got to know your stuff. Oh, they'll throw you in jail for contempt of court if you go on that side into the water.
Right.
And start talking. Well, I'm the living man, and I don't have to answer to you.
I've heard that as well.
We already know we're the living man.
Yes.
But they think that they own us. Our birth certificates are held by the Vatican from birth, and they think that we're their property anyways.
Yes.
Well, that's why we're called vessels. And and everything in your life is a contract. So that's the reason why when a cop comes up to you, name please. Well, there's no such law anyways. Everything is statute, and which most people don't understand what statute law is. It means legislative rule of a society given the force of law by the consent of the governed. So they need you to consent to being that name in order to contract with you. So that's something that a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't even look at their ID and even realize that their name is in all capital letters. So again, there's so much to learn about all that. I've been at it for years, off and on. I don't go into full time, but also there was a group. If you look up War Castle series.
Okay.
David Wynn Miller and Russell J. Gould with the quantum parse syntax grammar.
Okay.
So basically, everything that we're all reading and writing at a grade 2 reading at a grade 2 level, all of us, because we speak in adverb verb. So again, that's a big subject.
I don't know much about that now.
That's a lot of learning on that. I want to learn about it, but I was never good in school anyways. I was always considered to be a rebel. I didn't know why, but I know now. It never resonated with me. And people telling me what to do and all that never resonated with me. So.
I'm not a big fan of that either. And thanks for your real world example there on that maritime law thing. I appreciate that. It's good for people to even become aware of that, and then they can look it up for themselves and learn a bit about it if they're interested in that.
That's the reason why you'll see the yellow fringe around the Canadian flag in the courtrooms. That's the indicator right there that you're in a court of Admiralty Maritime Law.
Oh, just like in America, the same thing.
Yeah, same thing. It's all Admiralty Maritime Law.
Thanks. I always thought it meant they're at war.
No. Admiralty Maritime Law.
Well, thank you for that clarification.
Welcome. Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming to the rally here today. It's good to see you.
Is it over?
I don't think so, is it? Or are they breaking it up? Maybe they are.
I don't know. Everyone seems to be dispersing.
Yeah.
Your name is?
My name is Leslie Borey.
Leslie?
Yeah.
Dan.
Dan, nice to meet you. Hi.
Nice to meet you, Leslie.
I've got a couple channels. Rebellion Party's one of them. And
Rebellion Party?
Yep, and also Brantford News. So if you want to see yourself on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out today. I'm also on Rebel News, too.
Oh, good. The shekel, I call it.
I finally got to meet David Menzoid. I watch him all the time, and I said, maybe I'll see David here today.
You know what's odd about the rebels? They never talk poorly about the conservatives, like when they let China buy the oil fields in Alberta, right? When they allowed that to happen. And that's something they should probably focus on. That's why I don't trust those guys too much. They do give you good information a lot of the time, but I don't trust them too much at all.
Well, you got to do your own homework, as you already
Absolutely.
know.
And most people
are you familiar with the group UnifyThePeople.ca?
No.
We're working on our own constitutions, because we don't have a constitution here in Canada. Nothing's been ratified.
Well, I know, because all the provinces didn't go for it, right?
Nothing's been ratified, so we don't have a constitution. That's just a corporate rag.
I understand that as
So
well myself.
The Charter of Rights and all that, it's an act.
What I don't like is I don't like the idea of, say, John A. Macdonald a couple hundred years ago, almost 150 years ago, writing a law that we have to live by today. You know what I'm saying? If there's things that need to be changed, every generation should be able to change those. Previous generations shouldn't decide on how we should live. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With all their special conditions when it comes to changing the Constitution, all these impossible hoops to jump through shouldn't be there. You know, for generations to get stuck in this mess.
These guys can change the wording on anything at any given time. So, like, you mean, the organic constitution, as you know, in the U.S., has always stayed the same. They actually removed one